This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Ray Collins, 5 o'clock, April 25th, after a windy day out there yesterday, John, wasn't it? Good morning.
Yeah, it was a little breezy, no doubt about it. But the winds are subsiding now. The thing about that wind is that it drew down some much drier air, so it's going to feel very comfortable today. Hey, good morning to you guys.
Yes.
You as well, John.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful this afternoon. I think this is probably going to be the best day of the week. I'd be willing to lay money on that one. We're looking at sunshine building. We're starting off with a little bit of cloud cover around there. That is true. But that will give way to sunshine, and the sunshine will be with us for several days in a row. Enjoy it now because the warm-up will be on a little bit later in the week. So a little bit cooler today thanks to an onshore wind flow. So it'll be, I think, a really pretty afternoon. Let's take a look at the maps. We have a little bit of cloud cover hugging the coastline. That none of it has any showers underneath of it. It'll be a dry day today as fire indexes continue to rise. And across the region, we have temperatures that'll get pretty close to the 80-degree mark. Complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
Thank you, John. Talk to you soon. A little buildup on 301 northbound heading toward downtown Bradenton. Otherwise, pretty quiet right now, as you may expect. Farther south into Sarasota County. Well, we'll see little slowdowns there on 41. Always interesting to see why and where actually, I do know why, because I did pass that one on 41 around Bay Vista. They are fixing the signal there in front of the new Publix where there's no.
Hey, I passed that as well. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And what do you know? The map confirms it. Some slowdowns on 41, also up toward Newtown as well. And we see there in Clark Road in each direction. We do not know why that's happening yet, though. Farther south into Sarasota County, we'll check that map and see a little bit of a slowdown around Venice and Nokomis, all smooth at 5:02 on this Tuesday morning.
Well, topping our news this morning, a piece of artwork is the center of a huge controversy right here in Sarasota.
Some say the artwork is filled with racism brought on by a local architect. This is the artwork that has caused the concern. It features a body with the colored letters MLK and a baseball bat with the word chocolate on it, along with plastic bags full of white powder. Architect Jerry Sparkman is the man behind the artwork, which was part of an exhibit at the Center for Architecture in Sarasota. It has since been removed. Sparkman did issue an apology to a crowd last night at a Black Lives Matter meeting. Some say the artwork is an unfair depiction of Newtown.
This issue has always been important. We didn't wake up today, or should I say, I didn't wake up today and say I want to be black. This is how God made me. So no race is better than the next, and how dare another race degrades another race.
It's disrespectful to the people of the Newtown community, to myself who grew up in Newtown, and to all of my family and friends who still live here.
We tried to talk to Sparkman, but he refused our request for an interview.
The superintendent of Sarasota County Schools is now talking about a bus driver who's facing charges for battery following an incident with a 13-year-old student. Leonard Villari was removed as a bus driver after touching a girl's hair and neck in the Venice Middle School cafeteria. Villari was taken off his route. However, during the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office investigation, that driver was reassigned to driving another route. Superintendent Dr. Todd Bowden says that decision was made by Transportation Services Director Ellery Gerard. Now he could face a 3-day suspension without pay.
We talk about safety and security as the #1 objective in our school district, and I believe in this particular instance we failed in that, and I've made that perfectly clear to him, is that I believe his actions in returning this driver to duty are inappropriate, and I believe that there's some accountability on his part.
The school board will vote on that suspension next month. Meanwhile, Villari has been removed from driving a bus, and we're told he is no longer around students.
The city of Sarasota's parking director is on paid leave during an internal investigation. Mark Lyons is accused of steering a $100,000 art project to his son-in-law. When the Public Art Committee couldn't decide between the two artists for a State Street parking garage project, they asked Lyons who he thought should win. Well, Lyons called Michael Parker's design unrealistic. Mark Crucky was selected. Afterwards, it was revealed that Crucky is Lyons' son-in-law. Lyons would not talk to us, but in a statement said that he was just doing his job and that his decision had nothing to do with the fact that they are related. 5:05 right now. Hiring a not-so-honest contractor can be a nightmare for homeowners. And one Sarasota resident says they found that out the hard way. Bobeth Yates has our story.
The Huddlestons are in their 70s, so when they needed work done on their Sarasota home, they opted to hire someone. To get the job started, their son CJ, who lives in Orlando, began to help out.
My parents needed some work done underneath the house because the insulation was falling down. So we hired a company who took a deposit and ultimately said that they couldn't do the work. That happens. He said he was going to refund the money.
That was back in December. And CJ says the about $1,500 refund still has not been processed.
It has been quite the ordeal over the last couple of months. Somebody saying that I've placed these refunds, and obviously the documentation on my American Express account shows that there has been no refund.
The Huddlestons reached out to ABC7 and we set out to figure out what was going on. Our first step, the business address. And when we got there, it was a UPS store post office box.
Then we called the company.
Hello, this is Michael Chappie from All American Anchoring and Remodeling. Thank you for leaving a detailed message.
After some back and forth, we were able to get in contact with the owner of All American Anchoring and Remodeling, and he acknowledged the refund had not been processed. He first told ABC7 that he switched the vendor that processed his credit card payments, and that was the holdup for not issuing the refund. Then he promised he would call American Express to approve the payment dispute currently in progress, but later said American Express would not talk to him. After more back and forth, Caffey told ABC7 he would issue a check for the refund in the coming days. I asked him to provide that information in writing, and I'm still waiting. As for the Huddlestons, they just want to get the word out.
Ultimately, what I want is for this company to be exposed for what exactly they tried to do to an elderly couple and myself.
Bobeth Yates, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
We will continue to see if and when All American Anchoring and Remodeling will actually issue that refund.
A local organization aimed at helping families who have lost a roof over their head and food on the table will receive a little help from Hollywood today. Ben Vereen co-starred with Richard Gere in the movie Time Out of Mind. It's about two homeless men. The movie was screened at the Sarasota Film Festival a couple years ago. Now, Vereen says he was deeply touched by the plight of the homeless people he met while making the movie here in Sarasota. So he's here to help Family Promise of Sarasota continue helping homeless families.
When I walk down the street and I see my brother, my sister, my children begging in America, the richest country in the world, and we got this homeless problem. Thank God for the Family Promises.
Well, Vereen will be at the Family Promise breakfast this morning at 7:30 at Michael's on East. And as summer approaches, Sarasota County is reminding beachgoers to be mindful of sea turtle nesting season. Nesting season begins May 1st, and you can help protect the sea turtles by removing furniture from the beach, disposing of any of your trash, knocking down sand sculptures, and filling in holes before you leave the beach. And also, you can use amber or red LED lights on the beach at night. Property owners who live near the beach are also required to replace their lights around their property, so that way baby sea turtles don't become confused and travel away from the Gulf.
As the state legislative session winds down, the Myakka City Historical Society is waiting to find out if some money will be set aside in the state budget. Right now, they're waiting for a special grant to be approved by the state that'll go toward restoring the Myakka City Schoolhouse. A $240,000 grant will allow the schoolhouse to be renovated to create a space the public can use for concerts, meetings, events, and rentals. A modest schoolhouse out there in eastern Manatee County.
You know who's active in preservation out there?
Who?
Becky in Myakka. Becky in old Myakka.
You two are interesting.
She does the Hootenanny every year as part of, the Hootenanny, and kind of raises money. I know, it's a delightful thing. It's great.
I hear her every day. I've never seen her, but I hear her.
Can we meet Becky someday?
Can we meet
Oh,
Becky
we have
in
file
Myakka?
video of her talking about the old schoolhouse and other things, so we'll have to find that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, she's a great lady, really smart. We have across the region today just beautiful weather. Get out and enjoy it. It's going to be really hot pretty soon.
Right.
I mean, really pretty soon.
Definitely,
We'll
definitely. It was
talk about
pretty breezy yesterday, so that was
Very.
kind of a nice relaxation. Well, still ahead, a local bar making history for decades, how it's now left an imprint for its present-day business owner.
And later in the hour, a high school student in Pennsylvania got more than he bargained for in his lunch. Uh-oh. Stay with us.
Day at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Linda Carson. On Suncoast View, Florida Studio Theater previews their newest shows, plus a summer movie preview and how to take great iPhone photos.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is rated the #1 car brand in safety, and all Subaru models with EyeSight are a 2017 IIHS Top Safety Pick. And you can lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So currently we're looking at an air temperature that's a little bit cooler, coming in at 67, but the dew point, that's what has fallen so markedly. Now at 52, it's about 10 degrees cooler than it was just 24 hours ago. We talked about that happening after the front moved through and the winds picked up, the wind drawing down that drier air. That will eliminate our rain chances, but the winds also out of the northwest are picking up some cloud cover, and along the coastline we are seeing a little bit of cloud around this morning. No worries, that cloud will mix away with a little daytime heating, and we'll have mostly sunny skies throughout the remainder of the day. 59 degrees Wauchula, how about that? A temperature in the 50s in our Suncoast area. We have 61 degrees in Arcadia, Myakka Parish. Bradenton comes in at 62, 65 degrees Lakewood Ranch, 68 in Venice, 69 in Inglewood, 65 in Northport, and 68 degrees in Punta Gorda. Longboat Key coming in at 69 degrees. Red tide's about gone. The water samples have shown that the concentrations are either absent or very low most everywhere along the west coast of Florida. Onshore wind flows will be with us throughout the day today, and the remote marine spotters out at our area beaches find absolutely no red tide irritants in the air. Good news. Here's our little bit of cloud cover that I was mentioning right along the coastline. That cloud cover will give way to plenty of sunshine once we get a little heating going on. We have a big ridge of high pressure sitting in Gulf waters, and that high pressure ridge is going to kind of migrate over to the Atlantic over the course of the course of the day as this low pressure area that is producing such inclement weather for the mid-Atlantic exits out into Atlantic waters and lifts off to the north. That's an upper level feature actually, but it does have a surface reflection. What that upper level feature is doing is drawing down this drier air, indicated here by the water vapor imagery showing the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. The tan color is dry air. And when you have that kind of dry air sitting over the state of Florida, you're not going to get any rainfall. You're going to get lots of sunshine, and that's exactly what we see today. Plenty of sunshine after these clouds mix away. The low itself moves off the Atlantic coast and kind of travels up the coast, actually, bringing rain showers to the D.C. area this morning and then by later on tonight up toward New York City. Then high pressure kind of eventually migrates right across the state, and that helps to kind of relax our wind flow just a little bit. We will not have the issues that we had yesterday with wind speed. So we still have a rip current advisory up till 10 o'clock today, this morning. So watch your lifeguard flags, just in case there are some rip currents around. We will have a westerly wind flow throughout the day today. It's just going to lighten up. For mariners, it'll take, of course, a little while for those wave heights to decrease. It kind of lags behind the wind speeds, but that's going to happen today. Low humidity, mild highs, and then a warm-up on the way. As that high moves out into the Atlantic, our winds are going to shift out of the southeast, and believe me, that's going to crank up the heat. With lots of high pressure bringing us sunny skies and a wind out of the southeast, we're going to get pretty close to the 90s at the end of the work week. Despite the little bit of rain showers we had yesterday, the fire danger indexes continue to rise across the region today, and most places that you see here in red across the state are in the very high fire danger index, and most of the places are in the high fire danger index. So it's still a very dangerous situation. Forecast calls for temperatures to climb through the work week, and rain chances will begin to climb as well as we head into particularly Saturday and Sunday. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at Suncoast traffic this morning, you can expect a pretty easy commute throughout Manatee County. Not a whole lot going on. The only stoppage we really see is on 301 if you're heading northbound. Other than that, I-75 looking clear as we head into Sarasota County. Pretty quiet throughout that region. There was a little bit of congestion on 41 earlier, but that has since cleared up. Fruitville, Bee Ridge, and Clark Road all looking good if you're heading out the door. As we head into South County, pretty quiet as well. A little bit of congestion on Business 41 towards that roundabout in Venice. But other than that, no accidents to report across the Suncoast on this Tuesday morning. Well, when it comes to the city of Sarasota, we may not be able to brag about a history that goes back hundreds of years because Sarasota didn't become a city until 1913.
But one of the more interesting places might be the Gator Club, right smack dab in downtown Sarasota. Linda Carson has the behind-the-scenes story.
The Worth Block, as this building is called, at the corner of Main Street and Lemon, was completed in 1913. At the same time, the first sidewalk on Main Street was installed. Oh, the memories in this building. It's had a very fascinating and scandalous past. In the beginning, the Worth family lived upstairs, and downstairs the owner ran a general store.
Around 1920, 1918, he started bringing in booze.
Liquor sales continued during Prohibition. They uncovered proof when the building was remodeled in 1987.
They found underneath this stairwell cubby holes with bottles of booze from Prohibition with people's names on it.
One owner made it a sports bar.
He was a bookie. There was a lot of not gray area, if you will, as far as the law was concerned back then. I mean, I think he, ran did numbers and those kind of things just to kind of keep afloat.
It was once a brothel.
This is the original Madam's Cage. It was originally in a door. It had a ceramic buzzer right here. So you'd come in, you would ring the buzzer, the madam would come over, slide her money underneath. We can see where the gap is. And then she'd open, let you in, and she'd line the girls up.
And you could take your pick. There were also gambling tables here. Larry believes the madam still haunts the place. Once at the bar upstairs,
all of a sudden the cash register started ringing up drinks. Receipts coming out, ringing up drinks. Different drinks, not just one button, different prices.
Temperatures plummet suddenly and lights go on at night when there's no one there. And in 1998, scenes from the movie Palmetto with Woody Harrelson and Elizabeth Shue were filmed here. Today, there are drinks and music upstairs and down, and customers from 21 to 80.
The kids between 21 and 30 like DJs, and then people over 30, to that 60 like live music.
If buildings could talk, the stories this one could tell. Imagine all the people that have been up and down these stairs in the past 104 years. Larry Siegel, his wife and adult children are the owners and operators now, and they say if it's up to them, they'll be serving the public for another 104 years. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
I have heard those rumors before, but it's so interesting to hear what that place used to be years ago.
I know, it's interesting, and Linda Carson confirms.
Yes, I have been there a number of times as well. It's a beautiful place inside.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
Well, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Kitty Hawk has unveiled a prototype of what they're calling an electric aircraft.
And at 5:30, the state of Arkansas has conducted its first double execution in nearly 2 decades. Details coming up.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna-Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
It's the season of savings right now during the spring clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Over 100 standard and available safety features make the new Chrysler Pacifica a safe investment for any family. And right now, you can own one for just $24,999. Or get one of America's longest lasting pickups and save up to $11,000 on a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
And welcome back on this Tuesday morning, 5:23 right now.
Well, Lowe's is warning its customers about a scam you might see on your Facebook feed. I know I saw it on mine just yesterday.
Did you really? Let's find out more in Tech Bites this morning.
In today's Tech Bites, a new warning about a scam on Facebook.
It shows up on feeds as a $50 Mother's Day coupon at Lowe's, but when you click on it, it takes you to a fake Lowe's website, which Lowe's says is designed to steal your personal information. The company's advice? Avoid the coupon altogether.
A major milestone for LinkedIn. The social network is claiming 500 million users in more than 200 countries.
Microsoft bought it last year and has improved its mobile and desktop versions, among other upgrades. And a futuristic new flying machine is taking to the skies.
The Kitty Hawk. It's a flying car, they say, and it just made its debut on YouTube. It's a pet project of Google co-founder Larry Page, all-electric, designed specifically to fly over water. It could go on sale by the end of the year.
It could be a new way to commute to work.
It could.
Move over, everybody.
If you lived on an island.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Charmin.
Before we hit the beach, I gotta hit the loo. We can't stay here.
Why?
Terrible toilet paper. I'll never get clean.
Way ahead of you, Big Daddy.
Oh.
Charmin Ultra Strong.
Its washcloth-like texture helps clean better. It's 4 times stronger, and you can use less.
Beautiful view.
Thanks to Charmin and you, Honey Bear.
Oh, we all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Panera, a salad is so much more than one thing. More than one flavor or texture or color. A good, clean salad is so much more than green. And with Panera Catering, more for your event. Panera, food as it should be.
Americans, 83% try to eat healthy, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One-A-Day Women's, complete with key nutrients we may need, plus it supports bone health with calcium and vitamin D. One-A-Day Women's in gummies and tablets.
Introducing the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia, a performance masterpiece. Race-inspired handling and lightning-fast response times take your drive to the next level. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
When I turned 18, something big happened on my birthday. Every comfort that I knew, gone. This is what it feels like to age out of the foster care system in America. And this is the feeling that nearly 30,000 young people experience every year. But it can be better. You and me, working together for success beyond 18. Improve the lives of young people aging out of foster care. Learn more at jimcaseyouth.org.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough! What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough! And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Giulia from Alfa Romeo. Appearance. Performance. Power. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, Trump's top officials meeting at the White House, what they're looking to discuss as nuclear threats from North Korea continue.
2 executions last night in Arkansas with more on the way. We'll tell you what one of the defense lawyers argued in the final minutes last night.
And if you're looking to make some cash, removing pythons could be one way to bring in some big bucks. How a new program is looking to remove them from public land.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And we are here to show you what the Ringling Causeway looks like. It looks almost a little windy out there this morning, doesn't it?
It does. There is plenty of wind to go around here on the Suncoast the past couple days.
Yeah, John certainly predicted a windy afternoon, and indeed it was. Did you put your bonnet on yesterday?
I did. I wore my bonnet out and about.
Yeah. Tie it on tightly. Any more wind in today's forecast, John?
Yeah, for the morning hours, it's still going to be kind of breezy out there. So if you're in a high-profile vehicle or maybe a bike, motorcycle, just be a little careful. A little gusty winds out there. But they're dying down, and with time today, it'll be, I think, pretty calm.
You know, John, funny, I was walking my dog yesterday, and the two of us almost got swept away by the wind, I swear.
Oh, you were doing like a Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz.
That's windy.
That is windy.
It was pretty windy out over by the water where I was walking my dog. So.
Yeah, the seas will take a little bit longer to come down. You know, that's always the case. Winds subside and then the seas follow. We have a little bit of cloud cover out there currently. The cloud cover caused by those onshore wind flows, and that will be with us through the morning hours. But that'll give way to lots of sunshine today. I think today will end up being a spectacular day. No rain in the forecast. The fire danger continues to rise. That's because of the low humidity that will be around, making it feel so very pleasant today. But of course, the downside to that is that the fire dangers continue to rise. Daytime highs held down by an onshore wind flow to around the 80-degree mark, a few degrees warmer inland, a degree or two cooler right along the beaches. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
All right, I think the wind caught her bonnet and kind of took her for a little bit of an extra ride. All right, let's check the roads right now. Once again, a buildup on 301 northbound, heading toward downtown Bradenton, also 70 eastbound, just off 301, farther south now in Sarasota County. We'll see some little slowdown there at Bee Ridge and 41 in front of Johnny's Car Wash. A little slowdown there, slowing down to check the sales today, I guess. And then farther south, we'll check the maps in Sarasota County and see all smooth at 5:31 on this Tuesday morning. And here are the top 3 local stories this morning.
A piece of artwork in Newtown gaining a lot of attention, as some say. It's filled with racism brought on by a local architect. It features a body with the colored letters MLK and a baseball hat with the word chocolate on it, along with plastic bags full of white powder. Jerry Sparkman is the man behind that artwork, which was part of an exhibit at the Center for Architecture in Sarasota. It has since been removed. Sparkman did issue an apology to the crowd at the Black Lives Matter meeting last night, but many say the piece of art is an unfair depiction of Newtown.
The superintendent of Sarasota County Schools is now talking about the bus driver who is facing charges for battery after an incident with a 13-year-old student. Leonard Villari was removed as a bus driver after touching a girl's hair and neck in the Venice Middle School cafeteria. The superintendent, Todd Bowden, says he's disappointed. The transportation director simply reassigned the driver to another route. So now that supervisor, Ellery Gerard, could be suspended without pay for a few days.
And a local organization aimed at helping families who have lost everything, receiving a little help from Hollywood today. Ben Vereen co-starred with Richard Gere in the movie Time Out of Mind about 2 homeless men. The movie was screened at the Sarasota Film Festival just a couple years ago. Vereen says he was deeply touched by the plight of the homeless people he met while making that movie here in Sarasota. So now he's helping Family Promise of Sarasota continue helping homeless families. And topping our national news this half hour, the latest in North Korea. Top Trump administration officials are set to hold a rare briefing at the White House tomorrow on North Korea. The country recently launched nuclear missile tests and are threatening more.
Yeah, this comes as North Korea ups the ante with the U.S., taking an American teacher into custody as he is trying to leave the country and threatening to sink that USS Carrier Group off its shores. Stephanie Ramos reports from Washington.
Tensions between the United States and the North Korean regime are still high and rising.
North Korea is a big world problem.
The situation in North Korea is set to be the big topic at the White House Wednesday, when all 100 U.S. senators take a trip to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Briefing them are the Secretaries of State and Defense, Director of National Security, and the Chair of the Joint Chiefs. Usually, it's the other way around. Administration officials travel to Capitol Hill to address Congress on foreign policy matters.
The Council must be prepared to impose additional and stronger sanctions on North Korean nuclear and ballistic missile programs.
On Monday, President Trump called on the United Nations Security Council to do more. Overnight, leaders from Japan, South Korea, and the U.S. met in Tokyo to discuss the same, as North Korea continues to threaten the United States with war, recently saying it could sink an American aircraft carrier in just one strike.
They have threatened South Korea and American forces in South Korea. They've threatened Japan. They've now threatened the west coast of the United States. This is a very serious issue. for the United States, and I think it's one of the great priorities of our foreign policy to contain North Korea's nuclear power.
Overnight, a U.S. nuclear-powered submarine docked in South Korea, but it's not expected to take part in any type of naval exercise. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
In Washington, Congress is facing a tight deadline as funding runs out on Friday night. Congress must approve a spending bill before then to keep the government from shutting down. But the president is demanding that the budget also include money to build a wall at the Mexican border that he promised in his campaign. Democrats are saying there's no way they'll agree on money for that wall. However, the White House does say they're optimistic that a deal can be reached by the deadline.
We feel very confident that they understand the president's priorities and that we'll come to an agreement by the end of Friday.
Saturday will mark President Trump's 100th day in office. Before that milestone is reached, the Trump administration is working this week on reviving the health care plan. They're also promising a new tax plan that will be released tomorrow. Meanwhile, former President Barack Obama made his first public appearance yesterday since he left office in January. During a 90-minute forum at the University of Chicago where he used to teach, Obama focused on one of his favorite subjects, civic engagement.
The single most important thing I can do is to help in any way I can prepare the next generation of leadership to take up the baton and to take their own crack at changing the world.
The former president was joined on stage by young leaders for a discussion on bridging divides between the political parties.
The state of Arkansas has conducted its first double execution in about 2 decades. Marcel Williams and Jack Harold Jones were put to death last night. The two were among 8 inmates Governor Asa Hutchinson set for execution this month. Before Williams' execution, a federal district court judge issued a temporary stay based on claims from Williams' lawyers that Jones's death was torturous and inhumane. No word from his victims' families. The state called the claims utterly baseless. The last time the state put 2 men to death was back in 1999. New developments now involving a teacher accused of kidnapping a teenager, as Elizabeth Thomas's family opens up now about what she went through while the two were on the run. Emily Raw has the story.
A quiet Tad Cummins appearing in federal court Monday in California. The 50-year-old sitting next to his attorney, silent and only nodding when asked about the charges. Federal prosecutors say the 50-year-old planned and executed an audacious scheme. Calling the former teacher a flight risk, they say he planned to take Elizabeth Thomas south of the border and procured a small watercraft and conducted a test run to cross into Mexico across the water from San Diego. 15-year-old Thomas and Cummins disappeared last month, police saying at the time the two were involved in a sexual relationship. The pair found late last week nearly 2,500 miles away in a remote area of Northern California in this isolated cabin, a local man tipping off police.
Still on food I gave him.
Inside that cabin, leftover food along with camping gear and toilet paper. Elizabeth's dad, Anthony, speaking exclusively to ABC News.
She had lost some weight for sure. He had not been feeding her as well as they should have. She said they were eating flowers and things.
Thomas has a long road ahead of her.
Sometimes she'll be happy and laughing and back to the same old girl, and then she'll be sometimes just in a fetal position crying. It's been a roller coaster for her.
Cummins did not enter a plea. He's expected to be extradited to Tennessee and faces 10 years to life in prison, plus a $250,000 fine if convicted. Emily Rao, ABC News, New York.
So the former teacher is facing felony charges in Tennessee and California, including kidnapping and sexual contact with a minor. 50-year-old Tad Cummins is looking at least 10 years behind bars and as much as life in prison. Interesting story now out of Georgia. Police in Atlanta have arrested a man linked to a reported kidnapping, but his alleged victim says it never happened. A witness told police that Eric Harris took Shalia Thomas outside a beauty salon yesterday, but Thomas says Harris is her boyfriend and they were just arguing. Well, police across the city began searching for Harris after this report, and according to the TV station WSB, one of its reporters wound up seeing his car and calling police. Harris is now in custody despite Thomas denying that there was a kidnapping. Police say Harris is actually a burglary suspect wanted in Florida. They found a gun and drugs in his car.
Well, switching gears a bit, the state Senate could require high school students to brush up on their accounting skills before they can graduate. The bill would require students to earn half a credit in personal financial literacy. Supporters of the bill say kids graduating high school today are often bombarded with credit card offers, car loans, and very few know how to actually properly manage their bills.
It's just raising that level of awareness, savings, how to start a savings plan. Again, things that we just took for granted a lot of times that somewhat ignored in this day and age that are important.
I think that is a very valid point. The Senate version of that bill is set for a final vote tomorrow. The House has yet to schedule to measure for a floor vote. If it is passed, the bill would take effect for students entering 9th grade this fall.
As summer approaches, Sarasota County is reminding beachgoers to be mindful of sea turtle nesting season. It begins on May 1st. You can help protect the sea turtles by taking away beach furniture, disposing of trash, knocking down sand sculptures, and filling in holes before you leave the beach. And also using amber or red LED lights on the beach at night. Property owners who live near the beach are also required to replace their lights around their property so baby sea turtles don't become confused and travel away from the Gulf.
Well, interesting story out of Pennsylvania this morning, but you might want to put down your breakfast before hearing this story. A high school student in Pennsylvania got a little more than he expected in his school lunch. On close inspection, the picture shows what appears to be a worm or a maggot. Word quickly spread throughout the school, and the school district superintendent confirmed a corn earworm was found in the student's popcorn chicken bowl lunch. After the students showed the cafeteria staff the bug, they did stop serving that entree immediately. The district believes that the bug came in a corn container that they received from the USDA, and they have since filed a complaint against them.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is launching a new program to encourage more people to get involved in removing Burmese pythons from public land. Now, under this pickup program, get this, those who report and remove pythons will be rewarded with a prize. People who remove pythons need to submit a photograph of the snake as well as the location where it was removed. For every submission received, participants will be entered into a monthly prize drawing beginning next month, as well as a grand prize drawing for a lifetime sportsman's license. So, John, you can pick up some part-time money on the side.
There you go.
Pictures of a snake.
That's right. You know who doesn't like snakes? Who's like deathly afraid of snakes?
Us.
You? Really? Both of you?
Yeah, who else?
Judy Gallagher. Judy Gallagher will not come in the building if we have, you know, snakes from some wildlife refuge.
I don't put it past her. I could believe that.
She will not do it. By the way, congratulations to Judy Gallagher, Scott Dennis, and Bob Harrigan. They won Best Awards yesterday.
Good for them. Big congratulations.
Congratulations.
Love all of them.
We have some very pretty weather shaping up for us today. Lots of sunshine. Winds will start to lighten up. We'll talk all about that in a second.
All right, well, still ahead, if you need motivation to work out in the morning, we have some advice from trainers and nutritionists to help you get started. That's coming up next in your Health Smart.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Nobody beats Subaru in service, quality, vehicle quality, and overall quality. And ALT named Subaru the 2017 top brand for residual value. Now lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
The drier air, which filtered down around the area of high pressure that built in behind the cold front yesterday, has dropped temperatures to the northern part of the state into low 50s. Will probably even drop down, perhaps in some locations, to the upper 40s before the sun comes up and starts to heat things. So some definitely cooler air brought down, particularly in cloud-free areas, because of the dew points having lowered and allowing the heat to escape back to space. Locally, temperatures are generally in the 60s most everywhere you look. We've got 63 in Wauchula, 64 in Arcadia, Mayaca, Parrish at 65, Bradenton at 66, Sarasota at 67, Venice at 69, and Northport comes in at 70. Officially at the airport, we have a dew point value coming in at 52, significantly drier air. Remember, dew points, a measure of how much moisture there is in the atmosphere. Dew points in the 70s, that feels kind of like summer. Dew points in the 60s, it feels kind of like spring getting into summer. But dew points in the 50s, that feels fantastic. And we don't get that very often at this time of year. We start to see dew points climbing back into the 60s, and it won't be long before 70s is the name of the game. So enjoy it while it lasts. It won't be around long, I promise you. 67 degrees, the air temperature currently, feeling pretty nice outside. Kind of a crisp feel to the air, especially with a wind that's now up at about 10, making it feel, kind of crisp and cool and nice out there. Now, the downside to the dry air, of course, is the fire danger index. That continues to rise. This is the forecast for today, and areas that were yesterday in moderate, which was most everywhere in our neck of the woods, is now projected to rise into the high category or very high category. Again, fire danger index, an indication of how likely it is for a fire to start and require professional suppression to extinguish it. So, danger across the state of Florida, especially Central Florida, remains high. South Florida a little bit better because of that rainfall they got over the weekend. But still, that will change, I think, over the next several days. High pressure will be building in. The little bit of cloud cover that we have along the immediate coast this morning will give way to sunshine. That's being drawn down. That drier air is being drawn down by this area of upper level low moving out into Atlantic waters. As that happens, this dry air, indicated here by the tan colorizations at mid and upper levels, moves across the state of Florida. That assures us some sunny skies over the next several days. The other thing it does is as that high sinks south and migrates east, it'll start over the course of the next several days to shift our winds from a westerly flow to a southeasterly flow. That'll be a big warm-up that'll come our way by the end of the week. Until then, low humidity, and a couple of days of some fairly mild highs. Held down by a westerly wind, we'll probably see today's temperature around the 80 mark. A little cooler near the coast, a little warmer in inland areas, but we'll be closer to the 90 mark by the time we hit Friday. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. If you're heading throughout Manatee County, you can expect to see a pretty easy commute. 41 and 75 looking clear. State Road 70 and 301 seeing a little bit of congestion, but no accidents throughout that area. As we head into Sarasota County, pretty quiet throughout that area. Not a whole lot going on. A little bit of congestion on 41 as you head south. But other than that, pretty quiet throughout the region as we head into South County. A little bit of congestion on Business 41, but no accidents across the Suncoast on this Tuesday morning. In your Health Smart this morning, in our busy lives, morning is probably the only time many of us have to work out. But if you're not a morning person, well, that can be difficult.
Yeah, Kim Hutcherson has details on, from trainers and nutritionists to help you reset your clock and get moving in the morning.
Getting a morning exercise routine going all starts the night before. The foods you eat in the evening will impact how you feel when you hit the gym. Go for lean protein, veggies, and healthy fats so you wake up feeling refreshed, not tired. Force yourself to fall asleep early. It'll be easier to get out of bed in the morning if you've logged your expert-recommended 7 to 8 hours. Limit cell phone, computer, and TV use before bedtime. They emit blue light that can affect your Z's. Find something to look forward to. It can be something as simple as a new playlist. Excitement is a powerful motivator and can help you get up during the wee morning hours. Having a workout buddy can also help. Making plans to meet at the gym or a class will hold you accountable. Finally, set up your morning ahead of time. Lay out your clothes and have a pot of coffee ready to brew. The less you have to think about when the alarm goes off, the better. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Well, for the first time in 20 years, salmonella did not top the list as the biggest culprit of food poisoning. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it's now Campylobacter, a bacteria found mostly in unpasteurized dairy products. It's also seen in contaminated chicken, water, and produce. The FDA says not to jump on the trend of drinking raw milk. Overall, leafy green vegetables are the biggest source of food poisoning, and produce in general accounted for nearly half of all illnesses. Ray, don't go drinking all that raw milk, okay?
No, my wife has me going on to almond milk now.
Yes, I love almond milk.
I don't feel any different. I'm feeling better. Is dairy bad for you these days?
Well, it depends who you speak to.
Exactly. Right.
That's how it always is. Well, take a look at this. This is Lua. A sloth will take you and tell you more about her story coming up after the break.
Introducing the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia, a performance masterpiece. Race-inspired handling and lightning-fast response times take your drive to the next level. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Linda Carson. On Suncoast View, Florida Studio Theater previews their newest shows, plus a summer movie preview and how to take great iPhone photos.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, Log on to wannabein.com.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Julia from Alfa Romeo. Appearance. Performance. Power. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
So this is what a sloth looks like. They're cuter than they sound. This is in Memphis at the zoo there. The mom's had several births, but offspring didn't survive. This one did, so getting lots of TLC at the zoo in Memphis. A baby sloth. I never knew what a sloth looked like.
They're kind of cute.
They're cuter than they sound, at least at this point.
The name does not do it any justice.
No.
How precious. Oh, he's loving on that elephant. How cute.
There you go.
Now I kind of want a sloth.
Oh, nice. That might be the quote of the day.
When I come into the newsroom tomorrow with one, don't be surprised.
You might change your mind after this newscast ends. 5:57 right now. We'll update the day's top news headlines, have the forecast and traffic in 2 minutes. Stay with us.